My name is Kuyum Lee from Exercise Science. In this short video, I would like to share 3 useful tips that you can immediately use to increase both extrinsic motivation, needing to learn, and intrinsic motivation, wanting to learn, of students learning. Sounds quite exciting. Right, let's start with the first tip. Make a list of detailed learning objectives for each week and make sure the students know that by ticking all these objectives, they are guaranteed to pass the course. Well, of course, credit distinction, high distinction needs more effort. But by doing so, students have direction, feel safer, and have ownership about the learned content. In making these objectives, please do not use the verb understand. It is just too vague for students to feel confident on their learning. For example, let's compare these objectives. The first one, understand the process of action potential. And the second one, describe the 4 stages of action potential. Which one would you prefer if you are a student? I feel safer with objectives using more detailed and specific verbs. Let's move on to the second tip. Boost students' attention every 15 minutes during a lecture. It is known the students' attention level drops below 50% within 15 minutes. Maybe that is why YouTube is so popular these days, which permits maximum of 15 minutes of video streaming. For every 15 minutes, use demonstrations, tell relevant anecdotal stories, or let the students have 2-minute discussion with their peers sitting next to them. Personally, I like weird, quirky type of demo in a hope that it might increase the retention level of students. For example, this is the vestibular apparatus that I use during a lecture. These attention boosters are not hard to find, and it's actually quite fun to come up with these ideas. Lastly, 1-minute quiz. The first 2 tips, detailed objectives or attention boosters, are for the extrinsic motivation of learning. Students feel supported in passing the unit or getting good marks. But 1-minute quiz is more related to intrinsic motivation. 1-minute quiz has been tried 4 times by now, and it worked really well. Students are required to answer this question after each lecture. So what is in the quiz? It's actually quite simple. The first question, what is the most important content you learned in this lecture? The second question, what was the most confusing part in this lecture? The crux is on the second question. When the second part of the question is collated, often patterns can be found. 4 to 5 students ask similar questions, which means, well, the content was not delivered clearly enough, or content needs preliminary knowledge, or just simply I stuffed up explaining about the content. So a few hours are spent on writing feedbacks on these confused contents. And once done, I upload the written feedback on the Blackboard or Moodle for next year. The effect is not immediate though. Patience is required. For about 4 to 5 weeks, usually simple and basic questions are answered. But as weeks pass, you'll be able to find more advanced questions or more creative questions start to emerge. It also has an impact on lecturing atmosphere as well. Towards the end of semester, a student might ask a question during a lecture and other student might answer the question, or a shy student asks questions after the lecture, etc. By consistently interacting with the students with this feedback, students seem to develop the intrinsic motivation of wanting to learn. Experiences gained from using those 3 tips made me to think that learning and teaching is like a tandem swing that you see in this Korean traditional swing photo. First, the swing is not moving, so the students might feel bored. As a teacher, I have to monitor and give an appropriate push to a swing. But as the momentum builds up and passing the threshold, swing starts to oscillate with bigger amplitude. The students might realize at some point that riding a swing is actually quite fun, and the teacher also enjoys the swing ridden together with the students. Thank you. If you would like to discuss more about these tips, please don't hesitate to contact me. It's kwlee@acu.edu.au.